Hello everyone. This story is about, what if Naruto was saved by the Daimyo and became his Harbinger? After saving Naruto, the Daimyo appoints teachers who help Naruto become the Daimyo's eyes and ears in Konoha. A place the Daimyo himself is not sure deserves to exist after what it had done to Naruto. Please like, share and subscribe. Now let's start. Naruto, Itachi, and Shizen made their way to Wave Country at high speed, knowing time was of the essence if they were to save Genin Team 7 from possible annihilation. While Naruto had doubts they were worth saving, he knew Itachi loved his little brother and did not want him to die. The trio walked their way into the country, though it was more like running than walking, and quickly began searching for the address of client Genin Team 7 was protecting. They eventually found it with the lights on. Talking was going on in the house, and was clear that there was no danger to its occupants just yet. "Should we go in or watch from the shadows?" said Shizen curiously from her position in the trees. "We might as well go in. We need to see if anyone is wounded," said Naruto with Itachi nodding in agreement before they did just that with the surprise of everyone in the house. "Itachi," said Sasuke seeing his brother walk into the kitchen with two others he didn't know. "Hello little brother," said Itachi with a small smile while seeing the two other genin on the team eyeing him, Naruto, and Shizen cautiously. "What are you doing here, Itachi?" said Kakashi with his crutches, by the table. "We're your backup, you requested from the Sandaime." A request he chose to ignore for some stupid reason, said Naruto with Kakashi's eyes widening at the sight of the blonde. "Naruto? Sensei's son is here," thought Kakashi, as he saw the boy had grown, and was the spitting image of Minato, with the exception of the whisker marks. "Backup? Why? I can do this without your help," said Sasuke with Itachi frowning at him with a sense of disappointment. "Not from what I understand regarding your enemy. From the looks of things, your sensei is still injured, and unable to properly train you for the fight that is to come," said Naruto with Shizen already going to work on healing Kakashi of his injuries. "Who asked you?" said Sasuke, glaring at Naruto. "Stop it, Sasuke. Naruto-san is right," said Itachi with Sasuke looking shocked that he would stick up for the blonde. "Our enemies are Momochi Zabuza and an unknown shinobi wearing a mist hunter nin uniform complete with mask," said Kakashi before telling the trio what happened after fighting the demon brothers with Itachi already thinking things over in his head. "Considering the injuries Zabuza himself sustained, his injuries will be healed by the end of this week at the very least, and I'm willing to bet he'll want a rematch by that time. What has me concerned is the fake hunter nin, since all we know about the person is he or she has skill in throwing senbon needles and at vital points of the body," said Itachi, knowing that it takes skill to hit such points in the neck and knowing it would fool an enemy shinobi. "What kind of training have you given them?" said Shizen to Kakashi, seeing the man look a bit sheepish. "Well, to be honest, I've been working on their teamwork up until this mission and had them do tree walking during my time being unable to move around," said Kakashi with the trio looking at him with a "are you serious?" look on their faces. "That's it? You didn't do anything else the whole time you had this team?" said Naruto, as he saw Kakashi looking more embarrassed by the second, and probably wishing Zabuza had killed him in their fight. "The team really needed to work on teamwork and this was a C-ranked mission when we left," said Kakashi with Naruto frowning along with Itachi and Shizen. "Saito-sensei once said hope for the best and prepare for the worst, Kakashi-san. It's clear you only did half that. What if they died? Both the team and the client," said Naruto with Kakashi sighing knowing that was true. "I know. I asked the team what they wanted to do and they voted to press forward," said Kakashi with Itachi shaking his head, Naruto sighing. And Shizen was resisting the urge to smack the now-healed Jounin in the back of the head. "Aside from the fact you shouldn't have even let them vote over this kind of, what were the reasons behind their decisions to press forward?" said Naruto with Kakashi turned to look at his students, who glared at him and knew they didn't want their reasons to be known. "Well, Sasuke wanted to prove he was no longer in Itachi's shadow. Sakura wanted to go because Sasuke wanted to go and Sai, well he just smiled, so I took it his answer as a yes to the question of wanting to continue on the mission," said Kakashi with Naruto having done a face palming and Itachi's eyebrow twitched. This time Shizen did smack Kakashi in the back of the head. "Baka," said Shizen with Kakashi rubbing his head. "Your team is only a few months old, Kakashi. You should have focused on more than just teamwork," said Itachi with Kakashi sighing knowing the Uchiha prodigy was right. "I know. It's just, I guess I wanted them to surpass all the expectations set for them like I first did when becoming a genin under Minato-sensei," said Kakashi while Itachi shook his head. "You were in the middle of a war when becoming a genin with Minato being your sensei, Kakashi. Combat from the war and training during the war helped you achieve your rank of jounin ahead of others in these times of peace, said Itachi, knowing Kakashi was the level of jounin due to the many missions he went on with the training Minato put him through. Point taken, said Kakashi while looking over at Sasuke, currently scowling at Naruto for being so close to Itachi. Why are these two here, said Sakura while eyeing the woman like she was some harpy trying to seduce the Uchiha on her team. I'm a medic Nin and Naruto felt my help might be needed in the event anyone here was severely injured, said Shizen, seeing Sakura look at the blonde in shock and a bit in fear like he was some mass murderer. Naruto? As in the demon boy Uzumaki Naruto my mother warned me about? Sakura, while Naruto narrowed his eyes at her. That's Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto to you. The information your mother has about me is not only outdated, it is completely inaccurate, said Naruto with the girl scowling at him for denouncing the woman on the civilian council. Father doesn't speak very highly of you, said Sasuke at last, and Naruto just raised an eyebrow at him. And why is that, said Naruto while Itachi was watching them interact with interest. Father wouldn't tell me. He just said that you were a bane on Konoha and on the Uchiha clan for what you held, said Sasuke with Naruto looking slightly to Itachi and then back at the man's sibling. Well, my absence from Konoha and recent actions at your house didn't exactly make him change his opinion of me, said Naruto, though it was more to Itachi than Sasuke. Father is not what you call a humble man, said Itachi with Sasuke scowling at the two of them. Don't put my father down. He's the head of the Uchiha clan, said Sasuke defiantly at them. Foolish little brother, said Itachi before he walked over to Sasuke and poked the boy in the forehead like he used to do years ago. Ow, said Sasuke while scowling at Itachi. Tazuna, if you are not too drunk right now, we need to discuss some things with you in private about your current situation and how to handle it from a different angle, said Naruto, seeing the old bridge builder nodding slightly while wondering how this could get any more complicated. Like what, said Tazuna, knowing this new group had something in mind. Removing Zabuza's employer, said Naruto, seeing Tazuna's eyes widen along with the rest of the people in the room. You want to kill Gato, said Tsunami while Itachi nodded. With Gato killed, then Zabuza will have no reason to kill you due to the contract being void, and I have a suspicion this businessman does not pay someone unless it's in his best interest. Chances are, he'll backstab Zabuza during the inevitable confrontation, and will make things more complicated if you are weakened from the fight, said Naruto simply with Inari. Who was Tazuna's grandson, scoffing at the idea, and the Kyuubi Jinchuriki saw disbelief in the boy. You can't kill Gato. He's invincible, said Inari, with Naruto shaking his head. No one is invincible, said Naruto with the boy scowling at him. What do you know? You don't know what suffering truly is, said Inari, which made Naruto's eyes widen, and then narrow dangerously with his eyes flashing from blue to crimson red. What did you just say, said Naruto, before appearing in front of the boy and picking him up by his shirt. Naruto, said Itachi with Shizen looking at Namikaze, and saw the eyes flashing two colors with rage flowing right out of them. Shut up, Itachi. I don't know what suffering is? Let me tell you a story about suffering, child. I have lived a life of pain and suffering before you were even born. For 7 years of my life I had no one to comfort me when I was sad, to help me after a mob of people beat me within an inch of my life, hating me for something that wasn't my fault, and the powers that be were secretly allowing it so I would be the village's submissive secret weapon. On your birthdays, you got presents, laughter, and a family to wish you happy birthday, repeatedly. Do you know what I got on birthday? Someone tied me up, in the center of one of Konoha's training fields, bathed me in oil, and set me on fire. On fire? Do you know what a charred body smells like, boy? I do. Mine. I was 6 years old. The only reason I'm not a charred corpse right now is because that man standing behind me is one of a handful of shinobi, who actually did their job and stopped things from happening long enough for my healing factor given to me ironically from the source of the village's hatred could slowly kick in. But make no mistake, I know what suffering is, and I will not allow some whiny brat say they're the only one in this house, if not this very country, say no one else knows what it means to suffer, said Naruto, before slowly putting the boy down and left the house with no one speaking. Did that really happen? Said Tsunami while images of Kaiza being tied up without his arms before his execution came to the forefront of her mind. Yes. Naruto is much stronger than you will ever know. What he holds back is a force of nature unlike anything you could possibly imagine, and the people of Konoha have done nearly everything in their power to unknowingly unleash it in the belief they can control such a thing through him. Such is the dreams of arrogant fools. I have nothing else to say on the matter, said Itachi before he looked at Shizune, who nodded before going after Naruto, and help him calm down. With Naruto. Naruto sliced through several trees with his sword. There was enough lumber here to build a small cottage with enough for an outhouse. He had been at this now for several minutes while trying to sort out his emotions over what that weak child spewed from his mouth like he was all-knowing. Tezuna's grandson wouldn't have survived a week living the life of a Jinchuriki. His whole country is suffering and all he thinks about is himself, thought Naruto while he sliced through another tree with ease. Naruto, said Shizune, as she just had to follow his chakra signature, and the sound of him destroying the trees around him. Itachi sent you to scold and keep me calm, didn't he, said Naruto before sheathing his blade and turned to face her. The second part. Not the first part. Though you shouldn't have told him to shut up, said Shizune with Naruto nodding. I'll apologize to Itachi when I get back. It's just, that boy doesn't know what he's talking about and I just got so angry at him when he talked like his life is so much worse than ours, said Naruto with Shizune nodding. I know. I understand Naruto. So does Itachi. We both want to help you and to be happy in life, said Shizune seeing Naruto smile and surprisingly give her a hug. Ever since you came to the fire temple, you have always cared and guided me more than I could have hoped. I didn't have the heart to say this until now, but in a way, you have been like a mother to me. And I want to know if you would consider me your son, said Naruto with Shizune slightly shocked by this confession, but even she realized that it was true. And couldn't deny some measure of paternal instinct in helping him. The moment Naruto knew Shizune could be trusted, he latched onto her like she was a lifeline, and seeking approval in everything he did. The shinobi monks and Itachi were like surrogate brothers to him with the exception of Bansai being a surrogate grandfather to the boy. Shizune had been the only woman in his life who taught him more than just how to fight, and gave him guidance like a mother would do for their son. So in a way, she did see Naruto like a son, and deep down Shizune would protect him like he was her own by blood. Of course Naruto-kun. My son, said Shizune with Naruto holding her even tighter and felt him crying. Thank you Oka-san, said Naruto with Shizune finding herself crying too. We should head back to the house, said Shizune with Naruto shaking his head no. You go back. I need to be out here a little longer. Maybe I will even sleep outside and enjoy looking up at the stars, said Naruto with Shizune nodding since he had done that at the shinobi temple to admire the stars above at night. Okay. Just be careful. I'm your mother now, so I can pull rank on a paternal level, said Shizune with a stern look though Naruto knew it was for show. I'll keep that in mind, said Naruto before Shizune kissed his forehead. I mean it when I say be careful Naruto-kun, said Shizune with the woman heading back to Tezuna's home. The next morning. Morning came for Naruto faster than he would have liked and was awakened by a hand on his shoulder from a young girl a few years older than himself. Long black hair, a nice civilian dress, and a smile that made your heart flutter. But Naruto wasn't fooled. He had developed a sixth sense when it came to people that were not always who they said they were, and this girl fit the bill. Her smell was that of flowers, but also consisted of wound treating medicine, and blood from the injured individual in need of treatment. Naruto had also sensed the girl reach for the area around his throat for a second before moving to the shoulder. You're awake. Good, said the girl while watching the boy sitting against the tree. Sorry. I was watching the stars last night and didn't have enough strength to walk back to the house, said Naruto, which was true to an extent. And felt it was the best thing to do in case his hunch about the girl was correct. I understand. Though you should be more careful since there is a risk you'll catch a cold being out here all night, said the girl with Naruto shrugging since getting sick was not a problem for him. I'll take my chances. Thank you all the same, said Naruto waiting for the girl to speak her name. Haku. My name is Haku, said Haku waiting now for him to return the favor of saying his name. Naruto. My name is Naruto. Pleased to meet you Haku-chan, said Naruto with Haku smiling at him. Well that we have gotten acquainted Naruto-kun, may I ask what you are doing here, said Haku curiously while seeing his shinobi headband though it wasn't from any village she knew existed. I'm with my mother and we're visiting some friends here in Wave. You, said Naruto, as he knew the best way to lie was speak the truth to a certain extent so it's not even a lie. Just removing certain truths from the whole truth. Then you'll probably get quite a scolding from her for being out this late, said Haku before she let out a giggle with Naruto letting out a chuckle. Maybe. She knows and I've done it before. Maoka-san trusts me, said Naruto seeing Haku smiling knowing a certain someone trusted her too on certain matters. That's good to hear. You must be a trustworthy person. Maybe you would like to help me find the herbs I need to heal a friend of mine, said Haku while Naruto nodded since it would be rude to not help a girl in need of assistance. And a pretty one at that. Couldn't hurt, said Naruto simply before getting up, dusting himself off, and went about helping Haku recover what she needed. I saw the trees you destroyed earlier. Are you a shinobi? Said Haku while picking some herbs and saw Naruto doing the same. Sort of. It's complicated. I am a shinobi, but I'm also two other things blended together, and I don't answer to a Kage, said Naruto seeing Haku was shocked to hear that. You don't answer to a Kage? Who do you answer to then? Said Haku, curiously. The Fire Daimyo, said Naruto with Haku looking shocked at this news. I see. But Fire Country has a shinobi village named Konoha. Why do you answer only to the Fire Daimyo and not the Hokage? Said Haku seeing Naruto smile at her. Good question, Haku-chan. But the real question you should be asking yourself is, why is a shinobi of Fire Country helping you gather herbs to heal Momochi Zabuza? Said Naruto making Haku stiffen and her eyes widened while they looked into his intense blue ones. You knew, said Haku seeing Naruto smirk at her. Wouldn't be much of a shinobi if I wasn't, Haku-chan, said Naruto before bringing his hand up and caught the fist with Senbon needles aimed at his neck. You won't get Zabuza-sama's location from me. I'll die before I betray him, said Haku with passion in her voice that told Naruto she would endure all kinds of pain to protect the missing nin. I'm not going to ask you for his location, Haku-chan. I'm asking you and Zabuza to leave Wave Country, said Naruto seeing Haku narrow her eyes at him. We cannot. Gato is paying Zabuza to kill the bridge builder and he needs the money to further his dreams, said Haku before she leapt on him and the two began rolling around struggling for the dominant position of being on top, with Naruto barely coming out the victor. Listen. There is another way where we don't have to fight and die needlessly. Gato is not the kind of guy who would pay shinobi unless he had no choice, and from what I've gathered with just 2 shinobi assigned to this mission, he's not going to pay, said Naruto while keeping Haku pinned though she was still struggling. You lie. It goes against the unspoken rule that clients pay shinobi for their services, said Haku knowing that it was an unspoken rule just like it was an unspoken rule that shinobi don't backstab the client that hired them. Gato is a businessman without honor. Just because it's an unspoken rule to pay shinobi hired for their services doesn't mean he'll follow it. He could easily kill you and Zabuza after the fighting with his other hired help while making something up with there being no proof to dispute it. You've seen him and I've seen pictures of him from Tazuna. The man is a pig. He cares only about money and is a real tight-fisted corporate ass. Do you really believe the man will pay Zabuza when it's cheaper to kill him in a weakened state once the mission is over? Said Naruto seeing Haku stop struggling and look away from him before looking back. What do you propose? Said Haku knowing she should at least hear him out. Remove Gato from Wave Country permanently. The spoils gained from his hideout I'm sure will more than compensate Zabuza in the end, said Naruto seeing Haku was still unsure about this. How do I know you or the Konoha shinobi watching over the bridge builder won't got back on your word like Gato, said Haku since this could always be a trick. Because I am the Harbinger of the Fire Daimyo. If I were to go back on this deal, then it would reflect badly on him, and I owe the man too much for everything he's done for me. When I give you my word Haku, it's as if the Fire Daimyo himself has given it to you, and personally I'm not one to break my word. It goes against my honor, said Naruto seeing Haku look at him carefully for any deceit before he let go and stood up with her looking at him. I will talk this over with Zabuza-sama. Though I do not know if he'll agree, said Haku with Naruto nodding in understanding. You know where Tazuna's home is, right? Place something at the front of the house to signify he agrees with the plan for us to kill Gato. Make no mistake Haku, if Zabuza goes through with his plan to kill the bridge builder, then he will be outnumbered, and he will die, said Naruto seeing Haku calculating things in her head. Reinforcements, said Haku concluded seeing Naruto nod. And on Zabuza's level. Kakashi has been healed and now back to full strength, thanks to our medic Nin. If you truly value Zabuza's life, then convince him to let us kill Gato, and save Wave Country from further suffering, said Naruto seeing Haku nod since she too had seen the people in Wave in agony. Zabuza is a proud man and there is a chance I will fail to convince him. Still I will try, said Haku before she took her basket of herbs and began walking away until she was out of sight. You think she'll succeed Kurama? Thought Naruto while leaving himself alone once more. I don't know. Maybe. She cares for Zabuza. Of that, I have no doubt, and you did tell her the spoils Gato had would be theirs to take, said Kurama with Naruto nodding and decided to head back. I know. The question now is, will Zabuza take the alternative, thought Naruto, as he left to head back to the house, and inform the team of his findings. With Zabuza. You're serious? Said Zabuza seeing the girl sitting next to him mixing the herbs and stirring them into a healing paste. Yes, Zabuza-sama. He proclaims himself to be the harbinger of the fire daimyo. A shinobi who answers only to him and him alone. Not even the Hokage can command him and believes Gato will betray us, said Haku seeing Zabuza think this over in his head for a bit. I had heard rumors until now of someone in the fire daimyo's home gaining special favor, but this is something unexpected, said Zabuza not knowing how to handle this new development. I believe him, Zabuza-sama. I think we should take the offer, said Haku with Zabuza frowning at her. We can't go on the assumption of some brat regardless of his position, Haku. Like it or not, we have to stick with the mission until things change, said Zabuza with the girl looking sad. And what if it's too late, should Gato reveal his intentions to be that of a betrayer? Your dream will never come true if you die from this decision, said Haku seeing Zabuza stay silent for a moment. Did he say who was with him? Said Zabuza, at last. No. But he said they were at your skill level. Hatake Kakashi is already healed and will be ready to fight when the time comes. We cannot win should we do battle them, Zabuza-sama, said Haku knowing the two of them fighting, who knows how many leaf shinobi on the other end would be suicidal. If what he said is true, said Zabuza simply. There was no lying in him. I saw into his eyes. He's known hardship like I have before you found me, said Haku with Zabuza now looking at her with interest. Hence why you trust him. Two souls with similar pain. There is a sense of trust and understanding when two people like that meet, said Zabuza seeing Haku nod. Please, Zabuza-sama, I beg you to listen to reason, and let them go through with their plan to remove Gato, said Haku seeing Zabuza look at her and knew he was debating on whether to listen. You better be right about this, brat, you're smitten with Haku, said Zabuza, though the last part was a form of teasing and was slightly surprised her cheeks colored a little. I am not smitten, Zabuza-sama, said Haku while she saw Zabuza smirk underneath the bandages. I'll keep that in mind for when you see him again, said Zabuza while he let Haku heal his injuries and ignored Haku's cheeks reddening further. Tazuna's house. So you met the fake hunter Nin without her mask. You have interesting luck, Naruto, said Itachi with Naruto shrugging. Maybe. The jury is still out on that. In any case, I know she cares deeply for Zabuza, and will do everything in her power to see he isn't hurt, said Naruto with Itachi nodding and knew they had one more day before the inevitable confrontation. Do you know where Gato's hideout is? Said Kakashi, knowing if they were going to do this, it would require knowing where and when to strike Gato. I do. Everyone in town knows where it is. He has countless mercenary thugs watching the place. Real scum of the world and cheap to pay too. The place itself is designed like an old fortress, said Tazuna before telling them where it was located. We'll do a little recon first before making our move, said Naruto with Itachi nodding, though personally he despised violence unless necessary to keep the peace in the long run. What about us? Said Sasuke, who was hoping to get involved in this and prove he was ready to get out of Itachi's shadow. We are going to stick to training and watching Tazuna until this is over, Sasuke. Killing Gato is not part of the mission, said Kakashi with Sasuke scowling at him. Well, it should be if they are here, said Sasuke while glaring at Naruto, who just ignored the Uchiha and focusing his mind elsewhere. No. The mission is to protect Tazuna. Until Gato is killed, Zabuza is still his hired help and a threat to the client, said Kakashi with Sasuke growling at the idea of being left behind. I won't be left behind in Itachi's shadow. I won't be referred to as Itachi's little brother forever, thought Sasuke while trying to figure out how to do that. The day went by with the usual routine of Gen and Team 7 training, rotating their shifts and protecting Tazuna, and waiting for the possible attack by Gato's thugs. Shizune for her part decided it was smart to stay with Tazuna's family to protect them in case Gato tried to go after them too. Itachi and Naruto spent the entire day scouting Gato's stronghold with the blonde, making an army of shadow clones hinged into animals to get the layout of the area around the place before sneaking in. When the guards rotated shifts, Naruto then used their memories to draw a somewhat accurate map of the place from the inside and finally learned where Gato slept at night. The smell in the room, according to the memory of the shadow clone, made it smell of the fat swine, hookers, and sake. It made Naruto wanted to puke since it was nauseous to him and had to fight back the urge before telling Itachi when they would make their move due to Gato telling his two most trusted thugs his plans for getting rid of all his problems in one shot tomorrow. Itachi agreed they had to attack tonight. It had to be tonight. We can't leave a single mercenary alive, Naruto. Without their employer paying them for their help, they'll raid the village for whatever will be suitable payment, and destroy just about everything in Wave Country. It will be like a plague was unleashed and we helped unleash it, said Itachi with Naruto nodding and agreeing with the Uchiha. I know. Let's head back to Tezuna's and see if Haku left a sign for us about Zabuza's decision, said Naruto with the two heading back to Tezuna's to report their findings to the others. And found a message on the door with a Senbon needle, pinning it to the door. The demon of the mist accepts the offer. The demon's harbinger. It seems this girl has given herself a title to match yours, said Itachi with amusement in his voice. So it seems, said Naruto, while ignoring what he was implying about Haku and himself. Gato's fortress sometime later. Ready, Naruto? Said Itachi, while seeing Naruto nod. Are you Itachi-sensei? I know how you feel about fighting and killing, said Naruto with Itachi smiling at how the boy was worried about going against his beliefs. I'm fine, Naruto. I will only fight if I have to fight. This is one of those times, said Itachi while seeing Naruto nod and then unseal the bow staff given to him on his 10th birthday by Chiriku. It was a real beauty of a weapon. Forged from one of the branches of a sacred tree Senju Hashirama himself had brought to life not far from the fire temple where many shinobi monks found enlightenment long after the Shodame Hokage died. The weapon even had seals on it to prevent swords from cutting or breaking upon contact with weapons made of metal. It also enhanced Naruto's own wind affinity, so the blonde could easily unleash intense winds with the power to blow enemies away or making wind attacks dense and sharp to cut through their flesh. Let's do this then, said Naruto before the two set out to handle this mission. Konoha at the moment. That damn thing had no right to interfere on the mission, Hiruzen, said Uchiha Fugaku while looking livid at the Hokage currently struggling to get through the day with all the stress he was under. And I warned you what would happen if I denied the team backup with Naruto around to inspect things here in the village. He was going through the missions I assigned to the teams, and considering who was his sensei for the past 5 years, compelled him to take this to your eldest. Said the Sandaime seeing the Uchiha clan head snarl. I did it for the good of the clan. You agreed to it, said Fugaku with the Sandaime now scowling at him. Because the boy needed to see things beyond the walls of the village and you wanted to have Sasuke unlock his Sharingan. We knew from Jiraiya's spy network that Wave was in trouble and that there was a high probability of mission being higher than C rank. You thought the danger would force your youngest to awaken his Sharingan eyes so 2 of your progeny could be considered true members of the Uchiha clan. Said the Sandaime with Fugaku seething at how the elderly Kage was turning this back on him. And what if I did? An Uchiha is made in a trial by fire fashion. Always has been and always will be for us. Besides, it's a lot better than your way of training potential shinobi to being assets to the village. I don't need to remind you of your failure with the bastard child of the Yondaime brought into this world by that Uzumaki slut, said Fugaku with the Sandaime scowling at him. Be mindful of your words, Fugaku. I would hate to have to punish my 2 students for killing you for such degrading remarks about those they cared about, said the Sandaime with Fugaku scoffing at him. You're one to talk, considering your actions against Yondaime's so-called progeny, said Fugaku with the Sandaime scowl increasing. Something you and most the Uchiha clan are just as guilty of doing, Fugaku. I don't need to remind you only one Uchiha among your clan has Naruto's favor while the rest have only his scorn, said Hiruzen with the Uchiha clan head sneering. And I don't need to remind you how your son was ordered back here to run a genin team instead of being at the Fire Daimyo's palace to guard him, said Fugaku knowing that was a wound aimed at the Sarutobi clan's pride. The Fire Daimyo had ordered Sarutobi Asuma back to Konoha when Hiruzen's offspring continued to inquire about Naruto's whereabouts despite the feudal lord of Fire Country ordering the matter dropped. Chiriku had felt his fellow guardian 12 comrade in arms was finding his loyalty to his Hokage for a father outweighing his loyalty, which was meant for the Fire Daimyo, and decided to inform the ruler of Fire Country of this. Hence why Asuma was ordered back to Konoha under the pretense that the man should be in the leaf training a genin team like his father before him. The Sandaime wasn't thrilled since his son was able to catch glimpses of Naruto during the past 5 years, trying to gauge the boy's training progress, but sight alone, and for only a few minutes at best, wasn't a real assessment of someone. I am well aware of the fact, Fugaku, but let me remind you that Naruto is the one that holds both of us, and our families in contempt. Itachi has little love for you, so don't expect any kind of influence from your eldest in Naruto's actions against Konoha will spare the Uchiha clan. It won't, said the Sandaime with the Uchiha clan head staring at him for a moment before leaving. With the man now gone, the Sandaime went back to his work, and hoping things wouldn't get worse. Gato's fortress. Gato knew something was wrong the moment one of his hired thugs told him several men went missing and the security cameras to the place were suddenly going offline. The system was state-of-the-art. One of the few things he spent a great deal of money on was security, or more specifically his security, to ensure his survival. It was why the ruthless businessman had so many thugs on hand to defend him from any and all harm. While they were normally a hefty price to pay for having so many, Gato knew given things were with Konoha shinobi here in Wave Country that such an army was necessary. And with any luck his army would be thinned out so he wouldn't have to pay as much. As for the hiring of Zabuza himself, was a small dent to his wallet, but Gato would have preferred to have no dent at all. And planned to remove the demon of the mist from this world once the man had completed the assignment he signed on for. That way, the money he would pay the missing Nin for his service would go to better uses, like cheaper security, and a few hookers to make him feel better. Any news? Said Gato, with a frown at his hired help. Not yet, boss. I've sent a few guys to investigate, but I'm pretty sure it's nothing to worry about, and just some rat chewing a cable. You know this place has a few, said the thug with Gato scowling at him. Then find the rat, kill it, repair the damage done, and then kill the incompetent guards not doing their job, said Gato furiously. Right, boss, said the thug before leaving the businessman's office. Incompetent morons. The one drawback when hiring cheap. You get what you pay for, said Gato with a sneer while wondering what he did to deserve such stupidity. His thought process ended however, as explosions were heard, and screams following throughout the complex were heard. Feeling a sense of worry run up his spine, Gato went to the security cameras to find each of them were going out with each one closer to his office than the last. And told the crooked businessman hostile individuals were headed his way. His worry now turned to panic. Gato rushed to the door in hopes of escaping before his attackers got to him in this cramped office, and cursed the ice bitch for breaking his door-opening arm. However, no sooner had he done that did the short man see one of his attackers take a bow staff swing to one of the hired thugs, and cause blunt force trauma to the skull with enough strength to kill the hired goon. Shutting the door quickly, Gato hid behind and under his desk while hoping the enemy would skip this room to look for him elsewhere. Sadly, it was not the case, as the door was kicked open, off its hinges to be more accurate. And the sound of footsteps could be heard from Gato's position while the frightened man tried to keep the noise of his whimpers from reaching their ears. Not that it mattered, as the two shinobi, who had dispatched most of businessman's army of thugs silently before the more noisy and violent approached the desk before the taller one picked up the now cowering Gato. The cutthroat business tycoon had already soiled himself when staring at the dark-haired, weird red-eyed figure, and knew without a doubt his life was coming to an end. But it wasn't fair. He had so much to live for. A business to run. Lives to destroy with a snap of his fingers. People to ruin with his illegal activities in this country. So this is Gato in the flesh? He's shorter and uglier than I expected, said Naruto with his tone of voice clearly stating he was unimpressed with the sight of the little man. Such a waste of a life. To think his money is what caused all the suffering in this country and Kami knows where else he's been before now, said Itachi seeing the man look from him to Naruto. Should I do the honors in slitting his throat or do you, said Naruto, casually with Itachi making a I'm not sure I'm thinking noise in his throat. Wait. Don't kill me. I'm a wealthy man. That safe over there has enough money to buy a small country. I can make you 2 richer than you could ever dream of being in 100 lifetimes. Just name your price, and I'll pay, said Gato, desperately knowing the money in his possession could possibly buy him his life and freedom if these two were willing to deal. The two shinobi looked at each other, a silent communication going on between them, and Gato hoped they were considering the offer. His hopes were dashed when they both looked back at him with a scowl and knew what their response to his offer was to sparing his life. No deal, said Naruto and Itachi at the same time with the blonde taking out a kunai and slit the man's throat open with the Uchiha dropping the businessman on the ground to die slowly on his own blood. It's done. We need to inform the others and Zabuza, said Itachi with Naruto smiling and make 2 shadow clones of himself. Way ahead of you, said Naruto before commanding his clones to head out while Itachi sighed and shook his head. I've spoiled you with that jutsu, said Itachi simply with Naruto smirking at him. Perhaps, but you cannot deny the results. said Naruto with Itachi nodding, and the two left to collect what they needed in terms of Gado's bank accounts, knowing the safe filled with money would more than cover Zabuza not getting involved on the businessman's behalf. Besides, the large amount of money they were taking from Gado was going to be used in a far more productive manner, and given to a much more deserving place in need of it. "So you're done," said Zabuza, as he appeared in front of the two with a heavy mist in case he needed to make a disappearance and avoid a possible trap. "Yeah. We've taken the majority of the man's bank accounts, but what's left is more than enough for you and Haku to take, so don't think we're leaving you with very little in the ways of getting paid," said Naruto with Zabuza feeling a little irked they were taking most of the cash, despite how they earned it. "How do I know the place isn't rigged to blow once I set foot in there," said Zabuza, as that could always be the case, and didn't exactly trust them. "You can't, but it's not, since that would be breaking the agreement I made with Haku, and my honor is something I consider to be unbreakable," said Naruto with Itachi nodding too, since there was no honor in breaking an agreement. "You've been straight with me so far. You could have easily disabled Haku the other day when confronting her about me and then tortured her for information. Since you didn't, I am going to go on a limb here and trust you too in keeping your word," said Zabuza, as he saw the two nod and walk away from him. "Gado's yacht is north of here. Use it to get out of the country once you are done taking stuff," said Naruto, knowing the boat was expensive and would help Zabuza evade the mist hunter Nin on his case after he left Tazuna's house. "You're back," said Tsunami, seeing the two shinobi return stained in the blood of their enemies, and put some pages out from a storage scroll containing a list of Gado's many bank accounts. "Here's everything you'll need to get Wave Country back on its feet, Tazuna. Use it to make this place great again," said Naruto, seeing Tazuna look at the many bank accounts that would make things possible for his homeland be great again. "And Zabuza and Haku," said Kakashi, seeing Naruto smirk. "We left them more than enough in Gado's safe," said Naruto, seeing Kakashi nod, and was glad that they wouldn't have to worry about Zabuza going after the old man. "Just to be sure, I'm going to have my team keep an eye on things and train harder so this isn't a problem in the future," said Kakashi, knowing he couldn't afford to let something like this happen again. "Smart move. Since our mission is done, we will be leaving and reporting back to the Hokage of our success on this part of the mission. Oh, and Tazuna, the payment for the C rank you gave the Hokage is enough. You don't need to worry about paying for the full A rank price," said Naruto, seeing the other Konoha shinobi and Tazuna himself looking shocked by this news. "Are you sure?" said Tazuna curiously, while Gen and Team 7 looked angry. "Naruto, the Hokage is not going to like this news," said Kakashi, knowing the old man was going to dislike this when told. "I don't expect the Hokage to like it, Kakashi. I expect him take it," and with a forced smile on his old wrinkled face. "Or have you forgotten that the backup you received here was unofficial? That the Hokage was going to delay your requested support or not send any at all? This is his punishment. I'm also filing another report about this with the Fire Daimyo, so the Hokage cannot lie about this to him," said Naruto, seeing the Jounin in front of him nod in understanding. "Do what you have to do, Naruto," said Kakashi with a sigh, knowing things wouldn't be good for Konoha upon his return. "Hokage Tower sometime later. You tread on dangerous ground, Naruto. Using my shinobi for your mission, I did not approve any of you going on," said the Sandaime with his voice being deadly serious. "Your shinobi? That's a bold statement, considering who you answer to in the long run of things. Ultimately, every shinobi in Konoha is the Fire Daimyo shinobi, and answers to him should he wish to question their actions. Not you. As it stands in the eyes of the Fire Daimyo, I outrank you, and I can command any shinobi I want for a mission I deem to be important. Or perhaps you would like to explain to the Fire Daimyo why you didn't send any backup to Gen and Team 7, fully well knowing the mission was beyond C rank. And the freshly made squad with no outside experience would most likely die without it," said Naruto, seeing the Sandaime narrow his eyes at him and knew the old Kage was now seething inside. "Whether or not I assign backup for a team is done at my discretion. I felt Kakashi and his team could handle the mission assigned to them regardless of the rank increase," said the Sandaime with Naruto scoffing at him. Kakashi took on a dangerous A-rank missing Nin, who was at his level, and the enemy had backup as an insurance policy. One that could have easily finished off a severely weakened Kakashi and Gen and Team 7 in a heartbeat had Zabuza's subordinate made the attempt. "In fact, it was because of my team coming to their aid that they are even alive, and don't get me started on Zabuza's client. The man was going to backstab the missing Nin and finish off the survivors with his army of hired thugs once the battle died down. So tell me, Sandaime Hokage, how do you feel about the mission now?" said Naruto with the Sandaime seconds away from losing his cool. Naruto, said the Sandaime while mere seconds away from calling on the ANBU to just kill the boy and deal with the fallout later. Spare me your explanations. I don't want to hear the excuses of a frail old man. Prepare for the Chunin exams that will be happening in a few months' time. Maybe by then, you will have shown you're not incompetent in being Hokage, and actually be more than just a pathetic paper-pushing bureaucrat. Said Naruto before leaving with Itachi and Shizune at his flank. Damn you boy. Damn you, thought the Sandaime while looking at where the village weapon had been standing moments ago. He would tame the boy again. All the Hokage needed was leverage. Konoha streets. Naruto felt someone following him right after leaving the Hokage tower with Itachi and Shizune going their separate ways to handle their own things. Whoever it was, they were doing their best to stay hidden for now, and it became clear to Naruto that there was more than one when two more signatures were detected. Each of these three individuals were radiating a small amount of killer intent, as they clearly wanted a piece of him, and most likely for the obvious reasons. Come out from the shadows. There is no point in hiding yourself from me, said Naruto, as he had walked to a training ground, and was met by three Jounin-ranked shinobi. You have a lot of nerve coming back to Konoha Demon, said one of the Leaf Jounin of the trio, who Naruto recognized from his earlier years. And suspected the Hokage didn't punish the shinobi that engaged in the beatings he endured. After all this time, you still call me that knowing I am not the fox, and just as appointed prison. I wonder what my father would say he saw you acting like this, said Naruto, as he saw the Jounin in front of him looking furious. Shut up. You're not his son. The Yondaime Hokage was a great man. He died nobly for this village and your continued existence dishonors him, said the second Leaf Jounin of the trio while Naruto remained calm despite the man's words. You're half right. My father was a great and he did die nobly for this village. However, it's not my existence that dishonors him, but rather yours, and those that follow you who bring dishonor to his sacrifice. Said Naruto seeing them draw weapons, and knew this was getting him nowhere. Enough talk. Let's kill him now, and claim self-defense. The Fire Daimyo won't be able to dispute since the Yamanaka clan is loyal to the Hokage, said the third Leaf Jounin while Naruto drew his sword. You're making a mistake, said Naruto, while all three Jounin sneered at him. I doubt that. Once we're done ripping your intestinal tract out, I'll pay a visit to that little Inuzuka bitch you protected from my friend a while back, and have a little fun before my friends join in too. Said the second Leaf Jounin having heard what happened between Naruto, Hana, and the group of Leaf Shinobi that were trying to enjoy themselves at the Inuzuka's expense. Come, so I can kill you, said Naruto with the three Jounin charging him and the sound of metal clanging against metal mixed with the cutting of flesh being heard. From his position in the Hokage tower watching this, the Sandaime scowled at seeing the boy come out victorious, and get away with a few cuts currently healing. He had done that deliberately to not only test the boy's skills to get a measure of them, but to use in terms of leverage against Naruto when the Fire Daimyo came to visit during the Chunin exams. And discredit the blonde. However, Naruto had proven his skills were not only higher than expected, but he had waited until the three Jounin struck first, and acted out in self-defense. Even if the Hokage had the boy arrested, the Fire Daimyo find out about it, and take action against Konoha for defying him. Even the Sandaime's two remaining students were powerless to do anything because of the Fire Daimyo, and life for them had not been fun. Jiraiya had been forced to live in a small home the Hokage had been able to provide and had to run his spy network from there while being unable to peep on women since his medical bills would pile up faster than Tsunade's debts. His inspiration from the needed research was drying up and his ability to produce another book was noticed by all his loyal readers wishing for the next issue. The Sandaime knew Jiraiya has asked Tsunade for help in providing him with inspiration for his book, but his teammate refused and punched him through a wall to further enforce the meaning behind the word. Speaking of Tsunade, she was constantly busy at the hospital, healing patients, retraining doctors, and getting her medical program to help medic needs become part of a squatter reality. As for the debt collectors seeking her out to collect the money she owed, they came by during the past 5 years, and each one demanding Tsunade pay what she owed. The Sandaime didn't know how those debts got paid due to the woman's financial means of paying them off had been reduced to just about zero. And personally he didn't even want to know how she paid them off. Chances are it was through some money from the Senju clan's accounts, but the Fire Daimyo may have frozen those, or declared the wealth in them forfeit due to the woman's actions against Naruto. The Sandaime wasn't sure and felt it best not to pry into the matter should Tsunade wish to lash out. All Hiruzen did know was that the boy was the source of their suffering and the suffering of everyone else in the village hurt by the fox currently sealed inside of Naruto. This is getting out of hand. I expected 3 fully trained, skilled, and sober Leaf Jounin to hurt the brat to the point where he would come to me for help in calling them off. I'd then use it to my advantage and convince him I could do that in exchange for leeway with the Fire Daimyo. Itachi trained him well. Too well. No matter. Once the Chunin exams start, I'll speak the Fire Daimyo myself on my terms, in my office, and in a setting where I reign supreme. Thought the Hokage since last time he had been in the room with the Fire Daimyo, it had been in a room that made him a weak, old man unable to fight back, but now with his ability to use chakra and the large library of jutsus he had learned over the years, the advantage would be his again. All the Sandaime could do now was wait. This was all for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it and that you will be back for more. Please like, share and subscribe. See ya.